Hello and welcome back to Gubb Farm. You would not believe what I've managed to grow this time. So I just went and bought myself a Kubota M4062 from Clarkson Cabin and I'm a little bit excited. Let me give you a bit of a walk around. It is a four-wheel drive tractor, as you can see, because it has four big wheels. 66 horsepower, 231 newton meters of torque. It can tow about 5 ton if there's no brakes on the trailer, and it can tow about 14 to 15 ton if there are brakes on the trailer. And it's very nice. So let me show you around. There are 3 spool valves. One of them locks out in both directions. So if you want to continuously run a belt, for example. The second one locks out in one direction and releases in the other direction. And the last one just releases in both directions. So this is good because I want to have a mix. And I was hoping for this behaviour and I forgot to check it when I was buying the tractor, so I'm very relieved. This big lever is a lockout for the engine. It's an engine brake, so you can apply this along with the handbrake to make sure the tractor goes nowhere. What we have here is the high, medium and low selector for the gears. You have a 6-speed gearbox. Here we have a manual throttle and draft control. I can't see myself using that too often because I don't plan to do much ploughing. This button engages the 4-wheel drive, and on the floor there's a diff lock for your heel if you get in trouble. So here we have a cruise control feature. So this sets the RPM, in this case to 2000 RPM, and this one sets it to 1500 RPM. So to activate it you just need to have the hand throttle, just have some level of engagement just above idle. So just start it up and give you an example. So if this is on idle, this doesn't work. If I bring this up slightly, and you can watch the rev limiter as I hit the A button, brings it up to 15 or 2000 RPM. Hit the B button, brings it down to 1500 RPM. To change the RPM associated with the button, first of all, engage it. So I brought it up to 1500. Then you hold down, for example, the B button for 3 seconds. And then you tap the buttons up and down. And every time you press the button down, it lowers the RPM by 10. So that's how you adjust the RPM associated with each button. This button is for turning on and off the PTO. On the right hand side we have a column which controls a bank of switches for lights and windscreen washers. We've got an AC unit and radio with a CD player. That's quaint. Interior lights, never actually seen that before in a tractor. And I have a sunroof. I did not think I was getting a sunroof. That's kind of nice. It's a shuttle shift. Lift, drop, forward, reverse. Emergency lights. To the right of the steering column you have your indicator. And you have your lights, side lights, dips, full beams. We have some controls. The side of the dash for managing the particle filter. I was told basically whenever that happens automatically, just let the tractor do its own thing. And this is for some sort of manual intervention if you don't want to run the cleaning process at a specific point in time. Down below we have some buttons that control the display on the dash. I'll just walk you through it. So we have hours on the clock, trip. Got some fuel consumption. So it looks like the tractor under loading is going to use about 5 litres an hour. So I guess that's about 10-12 gallons a day. It tells me the PM is the particle filter. It's at 6%. When it gets towards 100, it'll start a self-cleaning cycle. This tells me the settings for the cruise control. So I have an A and I have a B. At the back of the seat, I have a 12 volt power outlet and I have a Euro connector. So if I buy any peripherals that have to be controlled by a joystick, I believe this is how it is implemented. So you have your clutch, brakes, which can be split, and you have a lever that releases the steering. You have an adjuster that controls the speed of the hitch going up and down, and you have beside it a lever which is used to unlock the hitch to drop it. And then to the right of it you have a filter for the ventilation. So let's have a look at the business end. We have a pickup hitch. It's important because some of the small tractors I looked at, they just came with a drawbar. So this does have a hitch that goes up and down so I can pick up trailers. It has a drawbar which I can swap out. Here we have a PTO gearing lever. It flips between 540 and 540E. So if you're doing light PTO work, you can flip the lever to the economy setting. It'll lower the RPM at which the PTO spins up to 540 to help you save fuel. We have 3 spool valves. And above the left fender we have a control for the hydraulics. On the top left fender you have a PTO engagement switch. So hold this in for 3 seconds and the PTO will start. I'm liking how they have implemented the controls for the arms to set the position. That's good, because if you've ever worked with the types where you have to screw them, they eventually seize up. So it'll be interesting to see how well this holds up. So one of the reasons I bought this tractor was because of its turning circle. It's about 6 meters compared to say a Massey MF3707, which is about 8 meters. And simply put, I should be able to move from one row to the next, because the trees are about 5.5–6 meters apart in the rows, so I should be able to go from one row to the next without having to skip rows. So let's put that to the test now. That is very, very, very impressive. I'm very impressed. It's very good. Yeah. Fantastic turning circle. I tested a larger Massey with the same turning circle as the small MF3707 I looked at, and it was a struggle to make it between the rows. But yeah, that was very good. What I'm going to do now is take the tractor for a quick spin through a rutted gap, see what traction is like. Comfort is really, really, really very good. I've got an air seat and it is so very comfy. It's more comfortable than my Hilux, which probably isn't a great benchmark. The last tractor I drove at this sort of power was probably a Massey Ferguson 165, and all I can say is that tractors have come a very, very, very long way. It just went through a little gap there, and unfortunately it wasn't, well, fortunately I suppose is a better choice of words, it wasn't very muddy, so yeah, it didn't miss a beat. Ground's very rough around here where we were cleaning off trees, so yeah, I am very, very impressed. Love it! Love it! It's brilliant! At Gubb Farm, we are trying to establish an organic hazelnut farm through the use of organic regenerative agricultural practices to try and create a good outcome for our trees. So if you're interested in following that journey from planting through to production and all the machine choices that come with it, such as this lovely tractor I just bought myself, then click on that subscribe button. So over the coming weeks we have to get the ground ready for planting a further 1,500 trees. So first thing tomorrow morning the Kubota gets to work and I'll be capturing as much of it as I can on video camera as I go. So click on that subscribe button and until next time, good luck.